In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how I make delicious stewed beans and plantain for my family, and I'm hoping you watch this video till the end. My name is Evelyn and welcome to my channel. So to be completely honest with you, I never really liked beans as a child, but growing up I've come to love beans, and that's because over time I have modified different beans recipes and I now cook beans the way I know I will enjoy it. So for the list of the ingredients, you'll find them in the description box, so you can check that out much later. I'm going to start by washing and soaking my already picked beans, and this makes it less likely for you to become gassy after eating beans. So if you're someone that suffers from gassiness after eating beans, please make sure to soak your beans before you cook it. And I'm going to be soaking mine for about 1 to 2 hours, but you can soak it for longer or even overnight if you have the time. Now after soaking your beans, you're going to rinse and pour away the water before cooking. Please rinse and pour away the water before cooking, otherwise you might still suffer from gassiness after eating your beans. Now to start cooking, I'll pour some palm oil and some vegetable oil into a pan, but you can use just palm oil if you don't have vegetable oil. Now into that, I'll be adding some sliced onions, and all I have to do is to stir fry the onions until they become soft and fragrant. Now for the onions, you can add more or you can add less, but I love using lots of onions whenever I cook, because there's just something Nigerian about that. Next, I'm going to be adding about 1.5 tablespoonful of tomato paste, and I'm going to stir fry this for a couple of minutes. So once the tomato paste begins to look like this, and this is after about 5 minutes, I'll be adding my tomato and pepper blend, roughly blended if I may add. And this is a blend of 2 tomatoes, half of 1 green bell pepper, half of 1 red bell pepper, 2 habanero peppers, and half of 1 medium-sized onions. I'm going to stir to combine, and I'll be frying this on medium heat for about 5 to 7 minutes so that it cooks and I also get rid of some of the liquid. Now this is how it is looking after about 4 to 5 minutes. Remember to stir at intervals while this is cooking so that it doesn't get burnt, because this can get burnt really fast and you don't want that. So if you're still watching, thank you so much. This is the perfect time to hit the like button and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done so you don't miss any of my amazing recipes. And remember to also share the video to your family and friends. So I'm going to be seasoning with some crayfish powder, 1 seasoning cube, and some salt to taste. So I'm going to stir everything in and allow to simmer for about a minute or 2. And after that, our sauce is ready. I'm going to be setting this aside for later, and we'll start with the next stage of this recipe. You can also make this sauce ahead of time to make this recipe even faster for you. And remember, the list of all the ingredients I've used will be in the description box, so you can check that out much later. So at this point, my beans has been soaking for about 2 hours, and I already went ahead to wash and rinse, and I'm going to be cooking this with some clean water. I just added some chopped onions, some beef stock, and some water. You can do without the beef stock, but adding it takes this recipe to a whole new level. I'm going to stir everything together, place the lid on, and just let the beans cook until it is soft and tender. Now this is halfway through the cooking. I came over to stir the beans, and I figured it needed a little more water, which I'm going to be adding in a minute. After adding in some water, I'll stir everything together once again, place the lid on and cover until it is completely cooked. At this point, my beans is completely cooked, but it is not too mushy because it's going to cook further in the sauce. So I already have my sauce heating up, and I'm going to pour in my beans a little at a time so I get the right ratio that I want. So like I said earlier in the video, I have not always liked beans, and I never really liked beans while growing up as a child. I actually gradually started liking beans in my late teens when I started experimenting with different recipes, trying new recipes with beans and also modifying them to my taste. Now once I'm done stirring, I'm going to be pouring in beef stock and adding some seasoning cubes, and I'll stir to combine. And you would notice I didn't add any salt to the beans because the beef stock is already well seasoned. And if you don't have beef stock, you can use chicken stock for this recipe or just plain water. But if you do, please add it because it adds a lot of flavor to this recipe. Now after stirring, I'll simmer for a couple of minutes before turning off the heat. So I'm going to be serving my beans with some fried plantain. I already went ahead to cut and season my plantain with some salt, and I'll be placing them in a single layer, and I'll let each side fry until it is golden brown before flipping them over. Once it is golden brown, I'll gently flip them over. Let the other side fry and take them off the heat once they are ready. It's so easy to prepare, and you can have this recipe at any time of the day. It's perfect for breakfast, lunch or dinner. And that's it for today's recipe. I hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope you give this recipe a try. And if you did enjoy watching, please let me know by hitting the like button and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, so you don't miss any of my amazing recipes. Thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye.